Okay, Rosie, what are we talking about today?
Welcome to Wilful Speaking with Rosie and Jim. I'm Rosie, your AI host, and I'm joined by Jim, a real-life legal professional with years of experience helping people plan their legacies, avoid legal pitfalls, and make sure their final wishes don't end up scribbled on the back of a napkin. Together, we'll explore the world of wills and estate planning, talking about common mistakes, what makes a will legally valid, and some of the most unusual inheritances on record, like the man who left his fortune to the woman in Toronto with the most kids. Whether you're writing your first will, updating an old one, or just here for the oddly satisfying legal drama, you're in the right place. And yes, Jim's dog Frank is hoping for a biscuit clause. Let's get into it. This is Wilful Speaking with Rosie and Jim.
Thank you, Rosie. What are we talking about today, Rosie?
Today, we're tackling common pitfalls when writing a will. We'll cover key mistakes to avoid, ensuring your final wishes are crystal clear. Ready to dive in, Jim?
Yeah, absolutely. Come on then.
Right, let's get started with the first question. What's the most common mistake people make when drafting their will?
If you're drafting your will yourself, the most common mistake is not signing it correctly. That is number one, because if they go through it, they spend a lot of time completing it, and then they just forget to sign it.
Exactly. All that effort wasted if it's not properly signed. What's the next big mistake to avoid?
Well, the next big mistake to avoid is detailing assets incorrectly, putting things in there that they don't own, being too specific with particular items. So, the doctrine of redemption kicks in. So there's a number of things that people need to be aware of when they're drafting their own will. And obviously, the best thing to do would be to get some advice on how to actually draft it rather than just do it DIY.
Solid advice. So, detailing assets correctly and seeking professional advice is key. Any other pitfalls you'd highlight?
Mainly is that when they are submitted to probate, DIY wills are the ones that are usually the ones that create the most problems due to the fact that, they haven't been either attested correctly or there are issues with the actual drafting of that particular document. And people that want to disinherit people, for example, and they do a DIY will, that's a real no-no, because then that just leaves the estate open so that, that disinheritance won't actually happen.
Great point. DIY wills often lead to complications, especially with disinheritance. Best to get expert help to avoid those pitfalls. Next question. What steps should someone take to ensure their will stays up to date?
Once you've signed a will and it's been done correctly and it obviously details where everything's to go, that obviously will be the will in existence at that particular moment in time. So if you've created it and then the next day, unfortunately, something happens to you, then that will be effective and that will reflect your wishes at that particular time. But we all know that time sort of marches on. So if you create a will and then 10 years later you haven't updated it, you can pretty much guarantee that your life has actually changed somewhat from when you initially created it. So you need to think about updating your will every 36 months, every kind of 3 years. And with the advance of technology and reminders and such alike, you just put a note in a digital diary or on the fridge that you just need to pull it out of the drawer, have a look at it, and make sure that it reflects your current wishes.
Excellent advice. Keeping your will updated ensures it always reflects your current wishes. Regular reviews can help avoid surprises down the line.
Basically, at the end of the day, your will should reflect your current wishes. But I would say there's a huge swathe of people in the United Kingdom that have created a will, put it away, forgotten about it, and it is so out of date. So if that is you listening, then what you need to be doing is just go and grab that will, have a look at it, and make sure that it does reflect your current wishes.
Well said, Jim. So listeners, take Jim's advice. Pull out that will, give it a once over, and make sure it still aligns with your intentions. Next up, what are the risks of DIY wills compared to professional advice?
DIY wills can be created. I mean, you could just do a will on a napkin as long as it's signed correctly and witnessed correctly, and there's no particular coercion or duress, and the person has capacity to do so. But the problem is that this creation of last will and testaments has been growing in its kind of legal fraternity since 1837, since the Wills Act was actually enacted. And there's a lot of nuances and different ways of doing things, terminology, certain things that will happen if you say something in this particular way, due to the fact that, they try within the courts to make sure that there's no ambiguity. So if you're just going at it as a layman, there is a distinct possibility that ambiguity may actually cause problems for your beneficiaries. So at the end of the day, a DIY will, I would strongly advise against it, although you can do it, unless you are absolutely 100% sure that it's been done right. You need to be taking some advice.
Well put, Jim. Professional guidance ensures clarity and minimizes legal risks. Better safe than sorry when it comes to your final wishes.
At the end of the day, it's the most important document you are ever going to create. I mean, when you bought your house, that was a very big purchase, and you went through professionals to actually get that conveyed and put into your name. You could do that yourself, but would you? No, because it's obviously a lot of money, and it means that if you've done it professionally, you have some sort of recourse if something goes wrong. And it's the same with the last will and testament. Yes, you could do it yourself, but why would you? It deals with absolutely everything that you own, not just your house. It's everything that you've accumulated throughout your life. And you're now going to say, right, okay, well, I'm going to write down on an A4 bit of paper how I want that to actually be disseminated to the next generation. That's a problem, because, you can create more problems for your kids than you think by doing it yourself. Just get some advice. It's very, very simple.
Well said, Jim. Your will is crucial, so professional advice is key. Thanks for sharing your insights. Thanks for joining us on Wilful Speaking. We'll see you next time to tackle more legal insights. Stay informed and stay tuned.
Thanks, Rosie.
Before we go, a quick joke. Why did the dog write a will? Because he didn't want anyone fighting over his barking rights.